Oyo acting governor calls for unity over Isheshe Day festival. Bonham unveils plans to get sleepers off street for Christmas. From vows tough for economic measures on Iran, supporting countries. The Tigers gear up for FIBA World Cup qualifiers second round. Now the details. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, has said increased investment in domestic refining, gas processing, and critical petroleum infrastructure is essential to strengthening Nigeria's energy security, creating jobs, and unlocking the country's economic potential. The Executive Director of Corporate Services and Administration of NMDPRA, Mr. Sadiq Bashir, who represented the Chief Executive, Mr. Rabiu Umar, at the Pengassan Energy and Labour Summit 2026, said Nigeria's long-term economic advantage would increasingly depend on its ability to convert crude oil and natural gas resources into value within the domestic economy. The authority also said expanding infrastructure for storage, transportation, distribution, and petrochemicals would enable Nigeria to retain more value from its oil and gas resources, support industrialization, and reduce dependence on external sources. The acting governor of Oyo State, Barrister Abdulrahim Bayolawal, has urged all residents of the state to continue to live in unity, noting that the peaceful coexistence among supporters of different religions in the state has remained one of the state's greatest strengths and the reason it has continued to grow by leaps and bounds. Barrister Lawal stated this at the grand finale of the 2026 Isheshe Day Festival held at the indoor tennis court of the Lake Salami Sports Complex at Damasimba, Ibadan. The acting governor, who was represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Governor, Honorable Kazim Adeniyi, lauded the believers of African traditional religion for the harmony, coordination, and cooperation with believers of other religions, as well as their commitment to peaceful coexistence and support for government policies aimed at preserving traditional beliefs in the state. Barrister Bayolawal also congratulated the African traditional religion worshippers on the successful celebration of the 2026 Isheshe Festival, while calling on them to continue supporting the state government and to continue to preserve the Yoruba tradition and culture. Orphanage homes play a vital role in protecting vulnerable children by providing shelter, food, education, healthcare, and emotional support to those who have lost their parents, been abandoned, or rescued from unsafe environments. However, as the number of children in need continues to rise, questions are being raised about the sustainability of these homes and their ability to provide quality care over the long term. Agidigbo FM News correspondent Abiodun Oguntayo reports.
Thousands of children live on the streets across Nigerian cities like Lagos, Abuja, and Ibadan, driven by poverty, broken homes, and regional conflicts. They survive by begging or doing hard labor, as they face severe risks, including violence, lack of education, and exploitation. However, orphanage homes provide safe accommodation, nutritious meals, clothing, education, and vocational training to give vulnerable children a brighter future. Caregivers serve as parents by providing love, discipline, counseling, and emotional support to help children recover from trauma. Speaking with Agidigbo FM, President of Jesus Kids Special Home for Children with Special Needs, Pastor Mrs. Olalade Adamolekun, said the home provides care and support for children living with disabilities.
What we do for them is to train them how to live independent life without condition. When a child is living with cerebral palsy, it is non-progressive, it's for life. So the only thing we do for them is to make them live independent life with a condition.
Pastor Adamolekun said the home faces major challenges, including the high cost of lifelong medication, physiotherapy, speech therapy, and other specialist care required by many of the children.
We have a child that came in 2011 with marasmic kwashiorkor. In fact, the missionaries that brought the child thought she's going to die on the way because she was 11 months with 3 kg. So So when they brought her to me, we started taking care of the child. And to the glory of God, the child is now in secondary school. He's now presently doing his WAEC.
Also speaking, a social worker, Mr. Olusegun Emmanuel, said the importance of orphanage homes cannot be overemphasized because they provide care, protection, and hope for vulnerable children.
Most of the children we are seeing in our community today that are disturbing the peace is because of lack of good home training through parents. And even the government should really help the parents in providing a conducive environment for better needs like education and a lot of things, health, and so many things to the people.
The social worker appeals to both the state and federal governments to strengthen support for orphanage homes and encourage caregivers who continue to make valuable contributions to society.
Orphanage home has been an intermediary in curbing all these atrocities in our community. I would just implore the government, the state government, the federal government to really put more effort into orphanage homes in order to boost the morale of their services, because people at orphanage homes are really contributing a lot. I urge them that they should not relent their efforts in helping the society.
Despite the challenges, child care advocates said the home has recorded remarkable progress, with children who were once unable to walk or speak now achieving developmental milestones, while others have advanced to secondary schools and universities. However, it is important to note that orphanage homes are not dumping grounds, but centers of where every child deserves love, protection, and opportunity to succeed in society. Abiodun Mutayo, Agrigo, FM News.
A social affairs analyst, Comrade Omololu Ejidiro, has cautioned the public, particularly youth, to desist from spreading fake news and misinformation, especially as the 2027 general elections approach. Speaking during an interview with Agidigbo FM News today, Comrade Ejidiro said the spread of false information poses a serious threat to peace and unity in the society.
Misinformation of the member of the public and the fatal consequences should follow. Some have taken the misinformation as their own way of life or their careers because their illegal conduct has not been penalized before. And those who also spread misinformation are also aiding those who are giving the misinformation out to the public. I want to draw the attention of the member of the public to the dangers and the evil of misinformation. Number one, it creates pandemonium and violence. And at times, it leads to social menace and illness. It could result to violence in the society. And I want the law enforcement agents to please be on their duty post to get arrested whoever may be that have taken misinformation as their way of life.
As a social affairs analyst, further called on media users to prioritize credible sources and use digital platforms wisely to avoid causing panic and division. Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Hulamza Studio, Gidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Tamlola. Boham has unveiled plan to get rough sleepers off streets in England, and the BADMUS ending rough sleeping his first pledge when entering Downing Street in July, and now he promised to get everyone accommodation for Christmas. According to him, every destitute in England will be offered accommodation this winter. Emergency accommodation will be provided for them alongside practical support for any health issue as part of £442 million package. About 37,000 people were helped by the scheme following its launch in March 2020. The Prime Minister said the government funding for the scheme may not be enough as he appealed to charities and faith organizations to help ensure an offer is made to everybody who needs it. A guide for asylum seekers published by the Home Office has told them not to rape or sexually harass people, including partners and children. The guidance states that they are expected not to make sexual remarks about someone, even if they think it is a compliment. The document also tells people arriving in the United Kingdom after fleeing other countries that women are allowed to make their own decision about their lives. The guidance was published in a 9-page document titled Understanding Behaviors and Expectation in the United Kingdom. And that ends the news from OLAMIDE studio at Gidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio, Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced plans to impose tougher economic measures on Iran, warning that countries and companies that continue to trade or do business with Tehran could also face consequences. In a post on Truth Social, the U.S. president said he was launching what he described as the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. He did not further provide details or identify any countries beyond Iran. The announcement comes after a 60-day ceasefire formally expired on Monday, with no clear sign of a diplomatic agreement to end the war that began with U.S. and Israeli military action in late February. Tehran has condemned Trump's threats, saying it will only increase tensions and hostility. Liberia's information minister said the people being deported by the United States to Liberia are expected to come mainly from Latin American countries, including Cuba and Venezuela, as authorities prepare to receive the first deportation flight on Thursday. The West African country announced on Tuesday that it had agreed to accept up to 1,200 deportees from third countries over the next 12 months. The arrangement is the latest in a series of agreements the Trump administration has reached with African nations as it seeks to speed up deportations. A Liberian government statement said the deportees would come from African and Western Hemisphere countries, but did not provide further details. The U.S. State Department also declined to disclose their nationalities. Liberian officials said the International Organization for Migration and the UN Refugee Agency would assist in providing services to the deportees following similar agreement made in other African countries. And that ends the news from Kule Amzat Studio, Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
Welcome back once again. Now in the exciting world of sports. Nigeria's The Tigers will face a straight test as the 2027 FIBA Basketball World Cup African qualifiers enter the second round, with 5 tickets to the global showpiece in Qatar up for grabs. The second round brings together 12 of Africa's leading basketball nations, divided into Group E and Group F, with the first qualifying window scheduled for August 24 to September 1, 2026. The Tigers will begin their campaign against Cameroon on August 27 before facing South Sudan the following day, and the final game of the window will be against Cape Verde on August 30. With qualification for the FIBA Basketball World Cup at stake, the Tigers will be aiming to capitalize on their strong record against Cameroon and South Sudan before attempting to improve their poor head-to-head record against Cape Verde. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. NMDPRA says local refining, gas investment key to energy security. Oyo acting governor calls for unity over Isheshe Day festival. Bonham unveils plans to get sleepers off streets for Christmas. Trump vows tougher economic measures on Iran, supporting countries. The Tigers gear up for FIBA World Cup qualifiers second round. And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, "I'm possible." Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on Gidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am OLAMIDE BADMUS. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, Oyo State, has called for continuous collaboration.
We bring you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
Southwest Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any